Hello everyone, my name is Pacha and welcome to episode number 50 of Raven Creek Park. Yeah, already 50 episodes in, halfway to 100 we are now, and I thought for this special occasion I gonna take you on a full tour today of the whole park as it is right now. So of course there are still some areas that are unfinished, some massive areas quite indeed, but I will take you to a full tour of the whole area that is finished, the whole park that is finished, to give you kind of like an overview. I know some people here, they didn't start it with this series, they didn't start it when I started this channel, they joined later, and it can be a little bit confusing nowadays where everything is in this park, how everything changed since we started the zoo. So we go on a walk today through the whole zoo. I show you every area. I will of course cut out some areas where there is nothing, where they just have to walk quite a long time to get to another area. So I will cut out these parts, so you don't have to see me walking for, I don't know, 5 minutes straight into nothing. But yeah, a full tour. We start here in the parking lot of Raven Creek, and I stand up from this bench, and yeah, this was one of the first things we did in here. We had of course a parking lot for of course your normal travelers and some for the bus tours, which also act as the guest spawners. And yeah, while we now walk up to the entrance, let's talk a little bit about the zoo. The first episode of Raven Creek, I think I uploaded on the 2nd of February 2022, so already 2 years ago I started the zoo, and the whole idea always was, I know if you're a long time viewer you know already this, was to create a zoo in the temperate rainforests of Oregon. Yeah, our zoo is in a fictional place in Oregon, and I wanted to have the zoo as a place for North American animals, for European animals, and later on we also added South American animals to the mix. There were times where we had some African animals, where we had some Asian animals when new packs dropped, and I didn't really have other places to have these animals basically, so I just placed them here in Raven Creek, but I never really felt connected to these places and later changed them out for more fitting areas. But yeah, this is, I think, one of my most longing running zoos, my most complete zoos, even if it isn't complete, and I think I'm on the wrong speed here, so no, it's correct. But yeah, and I cannot wait to see it fully finished at some point in the future. But yeah, it is my oldest zoo by this point now, and I'm so happy to have this journey. Let me say that straight away. I have so happy to have this journey shared with you guys, that I can share this this whole process of building the zoos with you guys, and to see all your amazing feedback over these 2 years, your joy of seeing new episodes, your tips of what I could change and what I could do better. It was really a treat. It is really a treat, and yeah, I cannot wait to where this will first lead us in the future basically. But yeah, here we are at the entrance of Raven Creek Park. The old sign, it's a little bit overgrown nowadays after 2 years in service. I mean, of course, the zoo is a little bit older. It was founded in 1971, but still, we of course have to clean that up at some point. But yeah, this is the old entrance, and I say old specifically not because there is a new entrance yet, but because this entrance will change in the future. We have, of course, a little bit of a statue here where you can take a photo with your friends. And we have a little bit of drink, a little bit of food options here for you guys when you travel to here. Maybe you are hungry, maybe you want to take some things to eat for you. And yeah, you also have a nice view onto the mountain and to one of the fire watch stations up there. There's also another one later on. You will see that in the background. And of course, as a good zoo, we start with some animals right away, and these are some ravens here that are the mascots basically kind of this zoo. Of course, it's called Raven Creek, so we need to have some ravens And yeah, as I said old entrance because this entrance will change. As I already said, this entrance started out as an entrance for a small zoo, for a small low-budget zoo. But nowadays the zoo grew, the budget grew, some of the designs of the exhibits grew and became bigger and more elaborate, and so I think it is fitting that we will, yeah, tear this entrance down in a future point and rebuild it more fitting for, I don't know, maybe mid-sized budget zoo, maybe even slowly getting to high budget. But yeah, it will change. We will keep some parts of the old entrance, but it will change in the future. And yeah, let's buy a ticket. Hello. Oh yeah, the prices. Okay, yeah, it's affordable for US American Zoo. Thank you very much. And let's enter Raven Creek Park. Yeah, this is basically the oldest part of the zoo by far. It was built in the first episodes of the series. And yeah, we have some more animals here. We have some short-eared owls, and I think there's nothing in here. Nobody here. Okay, but we have some snowy owls over here. Some fake aviaries that I built, I think, in the second episode of the zoo. It really feels like ages. I mean, it's ages. It's 2 years, but it feels longer than that I started these areas. And yeah, they really need makeover. But yeah, we get to our first real animal over here, the black-tailed prairie dog, our entrance animal to greet our guests. I know where they are. I can hear them. They're most likely eating. Or are they not? I don't know where they are. Oh, there's one. Right in front of us. Yeah, one of our first exhibits in the zoo. Not the first. Not the real first. The first is further down there. But the second exhibit that we built in here. And yeah, it also needs an upgrade. It's way too big for how many prairie dogs I have in here. So I will definitely maybe rebuild that or even move them completely to a different area, which I already have in mind. But really cool, and I'm still loving it. It is very simple. Yeah, this was back then when I was in mind of building simple habitats, very basic designs. And you will notice my building style and my building capabilities have also grown over these years. We also have some waypointers here for the Inca trails, our South American area, the Cypress Marsh, our Bayou, southern US area, I would say, and the Tillamook track, our native animal area, which we will visit first. But before we do that, let's go to the gift shop and see what it has in store for us after the autosave, of course. I can hear them, but I can't see them. This is a funny thing. I hope you can hear the animals. I hope I made the sound loud enough. But yeah, the gift shop, yeah. It also changed quite a bit since we first built this. Of course, here we have our look inside the den of the prairie dogs. A very old design of mine to basically make it possible for you guys to see inside the den. Very rudimentary, very open. Nowadays I would think maybe build some more enclosed spaces. But we are in our gift shop. We have a nice little fire lit here when it's cold outside. And we have, of course, some of the new stuff from the last update that we had before, the last big update where we got all the gift shop items and all the gift shop stuff. It's not a fully functional gift shop, that it's still basically a mashed up design because the gift shop is too big for this space, the gift shop that we got with the game. But I use a lot of the props that we have now to sell some t-shirts, sell some plushies, sell some stuff that was made, I think, by Ricey and even back then, so some old stuff, and of course these amazing animal plushie figurines. I can't remember anymore who made them, but they are amazing and they're also everywhere here. Really cool stuff. And of course we have our advertisement posters that you could also buy if you want to. Advertising some nearby areas like the Bridge of the Gods, like the Olympic National Park, which was a huge inspiration for this area. And then we also have a bit of a Easter egg here with this poster, which advertises Gravity Falls, one of my all-time favorite Disney series. So let's move on. Let's follow these amazing people, and let's go on to our first big area. And while we do that, we pass my first ever habitat in the zoo, which is for the fallow deer. There they are. There you can see them, the fallow deer in the background. The centerpiece of this whole zoo, basically, this is this habitat. Very old indeed, and I probably will also change it in the future. Maybe not to a big extent, because it is kind of a bit of history, this habitat. And yeah, I mean, you can watch the whole series. I will not make links to all the episodes now while we are doing this tour. So you know where to find them. There's a playlist for all episodes, all sorted by when I released them, and all sorted by number. So if you want to see a specific habitat, specific area, usually you can see it from the thumbnail which animal I'm featuring in this episode, and then you can just watch these episodes and see how I build these habitats. So if you want to do that. But yeah, fallow deers, we will later see them again at the end of this tour. But let's move left to, as I said, the Tillamook track, the area that changed the most. Not the most, but one of the areas that changed the most, because this was a totally complete different area when we started the zoo. It had the same theme of local animals, of the forest animals in here, with grizzly bears, wolves, reindeer. We also had skunk and lynx in here. But since then, I completely destroyed the whole area and rebuilt it from scratch with a complete new design inspired by the Memphis Zoo. By the Memphis Zoo, their track. I forgot the name for the moment. I'm very sorry. But yeah, completely redesigned the whole area and rebuilt it over the, I think, last couple months, not even more, I think even a year now. And I'm so happy how everything turned out. We of course already did a tour of this area, so I will not go into every detail now. If you want to watch a full in-depth detailed tour of this area, I highly recommend the video. But yeah, here we have, of course, the entrance sign modeled after a real National Park entrance sign. Of course, we also have a sponsor with the BN International Association, BN standing for Brunation, an amazing Discord community of great builders and creators that I'm happy to be a part of. But let's move on. We get to our first animal here, and this is the striped skunk. I think, yeah, there in the background we can see one ever so slightly, and there's a second one. They are back there. Yeah, really small, just a small simple habitat here to greet visitors. Nothing special, nothing where you would stand for hours, but it's a fun, nice little thing, especially with a fake tree that leads into the backstage area. And as I said, most of these areas also have backstages, and I will show some here and there where I think they are show-worthy. And yeah, here we have our show area, where we can have some animal shows. Let's make some light. We have some animal shows where we can bring out animals and birds and have some educational talks with them. And you can also get a second view at the skunks. There they are. Hello. They are so small. I know I think I made this habitat a little bit too big, and maybe I will make it smaller, but at the moment I think I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So nothing back there. There will be something in the future which I will not talk about yet. So let's move on. And we get to our next animal, which is again an implied habitat for the, I think, short-eared owl again. So we have another habitat, but this isn't a short-eared owl. I have to change these signs and update them. You will notice that some of these signs up here aren't updated. These info signs that I made, they are not updated for the animal that is inside. I hadn't have the time to do all the signs yet. I know it's topics that I always push away from me for doing these signs, so you will notice that they are not fit in every area. But at some point, at least when the zoo is gonna be finished and up and opened for the public, all signs will be fitting. But yeah, let's go to a sign that fits actually. Quite fits, not quite. the gray wolf, or in this case the Arctic wolf. The gray wolf was a former wolf species. Now we have the Arctic wolf, and we can see them howling. God, you will hear that throughout the whole zoo. Yeah, as I said, we will go through this area a little bit quicker, and that means we are now at the grizzly area. I don't know where they are. There's one. There's Whitebutt, as he was named by one of our community members, and there is his brother, and somewhere would also be his sister, because we have 3 grizzly bears in here, 2 males, 1 female, all related to each other, so there's no danger of inbreeding. And as it is common with grizzlies and black bears in America, they are all rescues and not bred in the zoos. It's, I think, a law that you can't breed grizzlies and black bears in zoos. They all have to be rescued, so there's that. Then we have our height education station made by Drag and me, so you can stand up and see, okay, yeah, how high am I compared to a grizzly bear. Let's move on. One of our sniffing stations, so the grizzly can come up here, can sniff you, you can smell the grizzly. Really nice, both-sided education and enrichment. And yeah, our underwater viewing, which I really love. I really love how you have this far view up to the mountains, and the big mountains in the back even, and you can see just the whole habitat with the waterfall, with the fake faux rock mountains here. Really cool. Let's move on. I don't know how long this, I don't know yet how long this tour will take. It could be long, I don't know. Future Patcher will see what he has to edit. And yeah, you will also notice along the way always these info signs. They are made by the amazing Lion. I try to remember to leave a link to the workshop page in the video description. But if you haven't subscribed to his sign pack and bench pack yet, what are you even doing? What are you even playing? You playing Planet Zoo? I don't think so, if you are not using his signs. Yeah, let's move on. We have our mute swan habitat. Mute swans are of course not from North America, they're from Europe. They're invasive in North America, but they are the closest thing we have at the moment to a waterfowl species from Europe or North America. So if you don't get any more, or until I use mods for that, the mute swan will be a stand-in for any North American waterfowl species, so to say. Really cool. I also still like this little bird watching hut in the background here that I made, which is an inspiration from Memphis Zoo again, who also did a similar thing. And on the other side we have the grizzly area once again. Let's move on, because it will take a while to get through everything. And yeah, it is crazy when you think about how this zoo developed, how it changed over the years, kind of like a real zoo does, where they always change out areas, where they always upgrade and rebuild stuff. This zoo also had a lot of refurbishments, rebuilds, and re-ideas. And sometimes you start with an idea, and then you notice, okay, this doesn't work out. Okay, you have to change it. And if you're lucky, the change turns out to be the better option, and turns out to be amazing. A nice view on a Whitebutt here. Let's move on. We are going to the next viewing area for the Arctic wolves, and they are sleeping, of course. Will almost be sleeping today. No, I don't hope so. But yeah, our white wolves, Arctic wolves, of course, here, and in this lovely little habitat. And I will also show the backstage for these 2 areas here when we get there. But on this side, so far nothing. We have a moose in the background and a bison even further behind, and some reindeers here that are just a stand-in. Because I'm still hoping that we maybe get an elk species or other North American deer species in the last final DLC. So they are just a stand-in, and that's why also this habitat isn't finished yet, because I want to wait until the last DLC before I tackle this habitat. But yeah, so nothing to see here. Let's concentrate on this side, where we have a nice view, not only on the wolves, but also on the bears in the background. Nice cross viewing over here, panorama viewing. And this means we are also getting close to the end of this trail. So let's go there. And hey, there's one wolf. So let's go and visit the wolf. Hello, hello. So here we are. The last point basically for this whole area. This viewing opportunity with some bedding. So the wolves will come up here actually and sleep here. So you get really up close to them. Really cool idea. As I said, again from the Memphis Zoo. So all credit goes to them for their planning. And now we walk towards the next area. There is quite a big gap in the middle of the zoo, which I haven't been building yet. You already saw that kind of up there from the bridge. So there were 4 complete areas, or kind of complete areas, and the big emptiness in the middle that connects them. So I will have a cut in a moment, and once we get to the next area, we will talk again. But before we do that, let's first. Oh no, we will not have a cut because I will also show the backstages, right? And the moose. One of my first backstage buildings, the one for the fallow deer. Nothing really special inside here, apart from some stables. And I'm landing on the roof. That is also a common thing in this series, that I'm landing on the roof of my own buildings. Let's go quick in here. Yeah, nothing really special here, just some stables, some separation stables. This one is for the males and this one for the females. Nothing really any theming in here or any backstage buildings in here. So really old stuff by me. And if we now follow the path, which is not existence, we will just glide over here. Quickly glide over here, where we also see the background. In the background we see the mountains. We are here in the backstage of the wolves and the grizzly bears. Also taken from Memphis Zoo, so a very simple backstage. I don't know, maybe I do a counter. We do a counter for every time I'm landing on the roof today. Very simple backstage here for the wolves. Just three separation cages, some backstage stuff. Haven't really had the time to decorate everything now. And then some outside yards over here, which are connected to the showcase area. And the same goes for the grizzly bears. We just have some cages over here where we can separate them. No real decoration yet. We will do that once I have more time, or we mostly do that in the streams. So if you want to see me decorating this area, I highly recommend joining the streams every Friday at 9 p.m. Central European time. Alright, let's move on. And because we are quickly there, I will not do a cut. We are getting to our restaurant, to the Wild Boar Inn, with a little playground in the little playground for the kids. The Wild Boar Inn, our zoo restaurant basically, where you can buy your food, your fancy food options. There are enough fast food options around the zoo, but this is for fancy food, where you can sit down, you can have some nice coffee, nice burger or something, use the toilet. Nothing special over here, just a very simple habitat. And if you are sitting outside, and that is cool, you can get a view onto the red deers. The red deers, I don't know what my voice happened there. Onto the red deers in this habitat over here that borders the name-giving Raven Creek, the river that runs through the zoo. And you also can see in the background our bayou area that we will visit, I think, next. No, we will visit after another area. Or next. No, we will visit at next. Yes, I decided we visit at next. So we have our red deer area over here. Also with the bridge in the background that you know from the intros. It's always the last part with the male standing there and then the train rolling by in the background. So let's move on, and now I will do a cut and we see us in the next area. There we are already again, standing in front of our 2 bridges that connect this little, island? It isn't a real island, it is a separate part of the zoo, which happens to contain our wetlands area. So let's move over. We were there before, and that was the red deer habitat, and now we are here. And I think we never walked through this area from this side. And yeah, we are now in the Cypress Marsh. As I said, an area modeled after the southern states of the US, so Florida, Mississippi, all that kind of jazz. So bayou, swampy area over here with a lot of animals that inhabit that space. And it is finished. It is my latest area that I'm working on. In the last video we already did a tour of the whole alligator area. So I will not do a full tour of that alligator park. If you want to see that, just watch the last episode of this tour of this series. There I did a full tour of this whole complex, but we will walk by it and yeah, set our little gator bites, fast food in stop here, and then we have also the central big swamp lake over here that yeah is a centerpiece of this whole area. Let's go over the rope bridge over here, where we can get up close with the gators, and I'm still happy how everything turned out. I said it in the last episode, but I have to say it again. The gators are one of my favorite species in the game. They look so amazing, and I'm so happy that everything turned out the way I wanted it, and that I can give them, I hope, at least a little bit of justice of what they deserve in terms of, yeah, awesome habitat design. But let's move on, and I will say let's move on a lot in this video today. And as I said, if you want to watch the full episode, the full tour of this, what's behind there in the indoor area and stuff like that, watch the last episode. There I did an in-depth tour of everything. So next up we have our gray foxes, which are not here, or I should say red foxes. There they are, because of course they are the red fox, but they are here as a stand-in for the gray fox, which is common in the southern parts and in the swamps, and is the most arboreal fox species and the most arboreal canine species actually. And I used the, I think, melanistic cross color variant of the fox to give them that, yeah, kinder gray foxish color appearance that they have with the gray and the red. The tip of the tail should be black, but otherwise they look quite damn close to a real gray fox. And yeah, just a little bit of this backyard feeling here with this central hut. Other habitat mimics that as well. With a little bit of a dog hut here. We have a terrace, and we have a little bit of planters on this side, and then it gets more into this, yeah, wild area here with water, with some barrels that are thrown away. Some bit of wilderness creeping in basically. And if we get to the other side, we, as you can maybe already guess from this little statue over here, we get to our raccoon habitat over here. Autosave, thank you very much. This is our little raccoon area, also modeled after the backstage. Ignore what is in the background, this is just some pieces for building. Hello. Yeah, again, we have a little of a swing here. We have, I think, also a picnic table. We have some bins that they use to feed out. That's why I also placed the feeder up there, so they will use it. And then we have some planters also in the background. And they can actually, yeah, walk over here and use this tree and hang up in the branches of this tree above the visitors. Something I picked up from a German zoo, which uses the same thing, where their raccoons can use nearby trees next to the exhibit to just sleep in and have a good time. And this one has having a good time with water enrichment. And on the other side we have our, yeah, local wildlife watching station basically. So this little, yeah, house here is made so I can sink in the floor. No, it is made so that you can, if there is local wildlife in here, like waterfowl, like insects, like frogs or turtles, you can, yeah, identify them by this info board, and then you can observe them in their natural habitat in this, yeah, lake outside here. Just simple, just a nice little thing here to also encourage people to look at local wildlife that they have in this area. And I would say, if we ever get, yeah, more waterfowl, I will definitely put some ducks in here or some geese, stuff like that, if we ever get that. Let's move on, and as the sign already tells us, we are getting to the Inca Trail. So let's speed our way up there, and I will see you over there. So now we are in the Inca Trail, and it's the first time I'm doing this in the reverse because I planned this area from the other way around. But since it was fitting when we started over here from the wetlands area to go that way, we are going in the reverse through this area, which works the same. This area is heavily inspired and basically a recreation of the Leipzig Zoo in Germany, which has an amazing South American animal area. So I took heavy inspiration from that and recreated the habitats, and it just fits so well with the whole vibe I'm having in the zoo. Only thing that I didn't recreate is this greenhouse, and I only made that for these guys because I added the Galapagos giant tortoise because I needed some animals for the capybara to cohabit with. I added this greenhouse where we could keep the giant the Galapagos tortoise in during the winter times when it's too cold outside. Then they can stay in here. They have a little water pool, they have some heaters and some nice substrate which they can walk around on. And as you see, the capybaras love to use it as well and to use it as a sleeping spot. I don't know what he is going on. I think he still has the animation from the shower enrichment. Never seen that. Interesting. He is avatar of water apparently now. But okay, let's move on. And we see there is still some stuff missing over here. This is the place where the sloth house will be for a free-toed sloth. Haven't been able to build that yet, but it will basically build the end of this trail or the beginning, depending on from which direction you are coming. And on the other side is this gorgeous overview over this giant, really gigantic capybara habitat. I think they have the most space in here, but I was sticking to the real life example, and they just have this gigantic space. But you can also see in the background, you can see the peccari, the collar peccari, and if you're lucky, you also see the capuchin monkeys climbing around here, but we will get to them later. But yeah, really love how lush everything is, how everything turned out so lush and green, and the different shades of green basically makes this even cooler. And then you sometimes see an animal coming through the bushes and stuff like that. I'm really happy that everything worked out. So let's speed up through here. Nothing really to see, just some plants. And we get another viewing opportunity over here where we can get really up close to the water where the capybaras love to bath in. And yeah, there is the reason for the water effect on the capybara's head. And I really have to check that out after this video, what happens there. And on the other side, we just have a continuation of this little pool, but nothing really in here. Let's move on, and we will also get to the backstage area because it's my favorite part, basically, of this area, apart from the habitats for the animals. My goodness. Let's move on. There is still some stuff missing here. We're still missing a roofed area over here with some education, and they will also miss a classroom building over there for some school trips, stuff like that. But on this side, we have our pampas habitat for the main wolf, as you can see, and the giant anteater cohabiting in this pampas exhibit. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this is the Pantanal exhibit. So this is recreating the area of the Pantanal, and this is for the pampas. So we are moving up now into the more drier regions. And yeah, these are the wolves. And we also have another little Pantanal / Pampas exhibit over here with peccaris, and as I said, with the capuchin monkey. I think they are inside from what I hear, but I also saw one in the background. So let's look into the little indoor area. Yeah, they are inside. Hello. They have this little indoor area over here where we can keep them if the weather isn't that good. And there is a connection to their backstage area over here. So they have to go through here to get through their outside area. So we can just easily close up this hatch and they can stay inside. Moving on. We have, one of my favorite animals in the game. The main wolf, I think one of my favorite animals ever, even outside the game. and the giant anteater, which also looks amazing. One of our earliest DLC animals with the South America DLC, which was the second DLC we ever got. Again, yeah, nothing in here. There will be a classroom later, but you can see where the backstage for the capuchin monkeys is connected to the backstage areas, or where the indoor area for the capuchin monkeys is connected. Moving on, we come to a building or construct that the wonderful Mr. Goron made for me. No, Mr. Goron. Mr. Gecko, my goodness. Mr. Gecko, or the Gecko Construction Company, made this wonderful truck for me, this recreation of a truck where you can go inside and the animals can also go inside, so you can get up close and face to face with a main wolf or a giant anteater, and it works in game. It's a little bit glitchy sometimes, but it works. They can actually go inside and go out again. Really cool that he made that he was able to create that, and we'll show you again from this side. Looks amazing, lots of pieces, really lots of details in that, and I'm just happy that I have such a talented builder in my community, and which I can also call a close friend of mine. Moving on, of course, some education about the main wolf and about South America over here, and we get to the last habitat of this area, which is the Patagonian exhibit with some llamas and some emus. Yeah, you may be wondering why there are emus in here. That is because we don't, of course, have not the rhea in game, the red tide, the big bird from South America, and they would usually be here with the llamas, and I want to still have some red tides in here, so I went with the emu, which was, I think, the closest matchup to a rhea. And maybe one point, maybe we get a rhea in the last DLC or via a mod, and then I can change them out. But I mean, for the moment, they work. We of course have some more education here about different egg sizes. Oh, one was stolen apparently. About different egg sizes by different animals, by different bird species, and yeah, the usual, the normal intro, not normal intro, the normal part where you start the journey with the Cascani Corp, which Cascani was a member of Frontier, was an employee of Frontier who sadly left us, and I wanted to incorporate her in my zoo with this sign, and yeah, she is now sponsoring the Inca Trail. We have some more viewing opportunities over here, where you can get another look at our animals. You can get pretty up close, so I had to raise the glass so you don't get spit on by the llamas, because they love to do that. And you can really see the whole length of this habitat and the bison up there. From here, you can see the water area. Yeah, I can really also get up close to the emus. I don't know if that should be encouraged. Another autosave. And then, if you follow this trail, you get to the backstage gate. We ignore the bison that is just standing on the field here. He's just having a day. And if we follow this trail, we, as I said, get to the backstage area. And yeah, really happy about this one. It was, I think, it's my most detailed backstage that I ever made. We of course have some jeep here. We have some old rotten wood here for enrichment. We have some storage units for hay and some building materials, some other stuff, and some wheelbarrows that the keepers need. And can I get in? Yeah, we can get in. And then we are in the backstage area, where we have the food kitchen, where we can prepare our food. We can also have a look up into the backstage outdoor yards for the capybaras over here. And then in here we have all the stables for the llamas. We have the stables for the rheas/emus. We have their outdoor yards over here, where we can keep them if we don't want to have them on show, but we still want to give them some sunlight. We can have them out here. Everything should working realistically, is connected realistically. We have a little bit of an office over here, where you can type in some stuff, control some cameras or some other things you need to be looking after. And then we have a little of a storage unit on this part, where you can just store stuff that you don't need. And on this side we have the cages for the anteaters and for the capybaras over here. Nothing too special. We have 3 cages for anteaters and 3 cages for capybaras to separate them. And through here, I think would be toilets or something like that. And then I'm landing on the roof. My goodness, I thought I wouldn't be able to. I think it's the 3rd time now that I'm on the roof. correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, this is the access point to the main wolf / anteater exhibit, and this is the one to the capybara plains, capybara wetlands exhibit over here. But yeah, moving on, we are leaving now South America, and we're coming to our last area, and I see you over there. Alright, the final part of our zoo tour. We were just over there for a moment ago, behind the bison, down there on the hill. There was the entrance sign, that's where we're standing, and now we are over here. On the other side, there's actually the Tillamook track, there's the moose, and behind there somewhere is the restaurant, and there's the bridge towards the wetlands area. Some stuff flowing out. As I said, this part isn't done yet. There will be a mountain area over here with ibex, with door sheep, with mountain lions, stuff like that, and also the moose habitat will be here. But this is stuff for future episodes. And yeah, there's a fire tower that we saw in the beginning of this video. When we started, we saw this fire tower before we entered the zoo even. That was over there. Now we are getting to the river section, which actually doesn't have a name yet. So if you can think of a good name for this river inspired section, let me know in the comments, and I will definitely consider using it for this area. And we start over here opposite to the American bison with the European bison with the Wiesent. And this is just a very long habitat, and the reason why it's that long and not wide, so why you can't see all of it from this viewing point, is that it is connected, or that it is behind two other habitats that we will visit in a moment. So you can see the Wiesent from these other two habitats, which I think creates some very cool sightlines. And yeah, then I think it's excusable that you only have this. I mean, it's still quite big, but rather small viewing opportunity over here, where you can see the Wiesent in all its glory. Because if we move on, we are moving by this ominous concrete building, and we get to our special thanks wall over here that was sponsoring this area. I'm just kidding, these are all the people that contributed to the zoo via workshop items, via tips and tricks in my live streams or videos, or just in my community. So I wanted to give them an honorable place in my zoo with the sponsor wall over here. And they have been sponsoring the beaver exhibit. Already we see one here in their little hut, in the little lodge, the little beaver lodge that we can see from here. And then we have no beaver underwater, so we go outside, on top of here. We have the beaver habitat over here, inspired by an American zoo, which I can't think. I think Columbus Zoo. I don't know anymore if it was Columbus or was a different zoo. You probably know if you know this habitat. And yeah, as I said, you can see if you change the time a little bit, no, other direction, we can see the Wiesent in the background. Really cool sightlines creating over here. The beavers can dive if they want to. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they want, but they can dive in here, creating this nice vista with having two different species on display. Really cool that everything turns out. And yeah, the story is that the beavers created a dam, so they dammed up the river over here, and what that caused we will see in the next habitat. If we follow here, another backstage building, and on this side we have our fellow deers again. So we went full circle to getting to this side again, and if we follow the path we get to the dry river section. So the river was dammed up and now the river ran dry. Nice timing, we have a Wiesent in the background, and now this area, this dry riverbed, is inhabited by wild boars who are searching for some leftover food, for some last bits of something they could eat and they could use, or some mud they can roll around in. Really, I think it's a really cool idea to have this kind of the story with the river, and then the river drying up and creating this river banks, river valley over here. And we have another viewing opportunity on this side, more of an open view over here, but we also can see the backstage of the Wiesent over there. where we have a little bit of water left basically. And humans already took opportunity of that. They already built a log hut in the place where the river once was, and yeah, changed the environment to their liking basically. Let's move on. So if we can take a quick look at the fallow deers over here. This is the female yard, and then I'm in the bush. We have a nice view on the smaller male yard where we keep them. If we don't want to breed the fallow deer, we keep the male separated, so nothing happens if they get aggressive or something like that. So moving on, we are getting to this little log hut. As you can see, yeah, humans have been here. There's a weasel skull on top of here, but it also creates some nice viewing opportunities. For once, into the boar habitat from this side, and on the other side we get a view on what happens to the rest of the forest, or what happens when there is no water disturbing the place, and the plants take up the empty river valley over here, empty river part, and grow in this place. And now wolverines have made their home in the growing in the now full grown greened river section. I don't know how to call it. You can also get a nice view on this when they sleep over here. You can get a nice view on that, and if the sun is not in our way, we can also see the habitat from here basically. Of course secured, because we don't want them to escape. Hello Wolverine, which came with the last DLC, the Eurasia DLC, and a really cool animal for both Europe and for North America. Moving on, we get, of course, to another viewing area over here, where we learn a little bit about the body of the Wolverine, of the different adaptations to the cold weather, to the harsh environment, with their tails, their head, what they developed to survive and find food. And we get another nice view. I think I quite like this, how you get inside the habitat, basically kind of a little bit with this viewing point over here, and get really up close to the Wolverine. Never seen them playing with this rope hole. Looks very vicious. Moving on, we get to our last stop on this tour. Another little playground on this side. My first ever self-made playground. I tried my best. No, it's not that good, but I tried to make something with it. Will probably maybe update in the future once I get better with that. And before we end this tour, we have to have a look, in the backstage of the Wiesens. But first we look at one of a very old relic. This was, or is, it also was my employee access point. So the employees enter the zoo from this gate, and then they park here. We get our food through this point that gets stored in this building over here. But of course, this will also go as we update the whole entrance area. Maybe it will move completely to a different point in this different area in the zoo, or it will just receive a visual upgrade. But yeah, this is also a very old part of the, I think, episode 4 or so, or 5. I can't remember anymore. Let's have a quick look at the Wiesens backstage area, because I quite liked what I did there. Of course, we have more trucks, we have more stuff here, more storage areas, units, and little room over here. And then we have this stable over here, which they can go out and in as they please. It works fully. They can just come in here to sleep and then leave again. But I really like it. It's very simple. It's very utilitarian. I know I love to use that word, but I quite like it, and I quite think it fits a bison species quite well. So let's move on to the last steps before we leave the zoo. And I hope you like this little tour. I know it isn't a full finished tour, as there's still a lot of stuff that isn't done yet. And we are now at the entrance again. But I still hope you still liked it, to get an overview over everything that we have done so far in the zoo, to then maybe also get a little bit of history of areas that once have been and are no longer, and maybe some areas that will be no longer in the future. Looking forward to that. I already have some amazing plans in my mind for what I want to do with this entrance, and I hope everything works out. And yeah, let me know what you think or what you think of this little tour for 50 episode number 50 for Raven Creek. And I can't wait. I really can't wait to see where we are going from here. I don't know if we will make it to 100 episodes. I doubt it. I mean, depending on what the next DLC brings, the last DLC, what animals it gives us. There are not really any big areas left apart from the mountain area. All other areas are basically finished apart from one or two habitats, one or two areas in these areas, and then I just need to do the rooms in between, which will not require a lot of effort or a lot of planning, just some plants, maybe some education areas or food areas. But other than that, this zoo is getting close to getting finished. If I don't think I should change the South American area to a totally different one, or the river's edged area, I should redo that, which I probably won't, but you never know what happens in the future, and if you just wake up with a hunch or with an idea, then you have to throw everything into the bin and start new. But other than that, I'm kind of can see being the zoo finished in the near future now. And yeah, it was a real amazing journey so far with you guys, and I cannot wait for the rest of the journey in the future. And as I said, I hope you liked this tour. I hope you had some nice time seeing some areas you have never seen before or haven't seen in a very long time. And yeah, then the only thing that is left to say is I hope I see you in the next video, maybe with some news to what the future of Plant Zoo in general brings us, or some nice new speed build. And until then, I wish you a great time. Stay safe, have an amazing time with this game, with your life, with your families, friends, whatever you have and whatever you need. And then I see you in the next episode. And until then, I only say bye bye everyone.